So my mom sent me this big cast iron pan. See here? It's probably well, let's see what it is. It's about a 15-inch pan. Kind of old, and during shipping the handle came off. It broke out the side, like you can see. So I'm gonna attempt to fix it. So I figured I'd throw up a little video on attempting to fix a cast iron pan. Okay, as you can see, I chamfered the edges of the pan, and I took a hacksaw and I cut down the two cracks and tried to separate the cracks as much as I could. And I chamfered both sides. Next I'm going to do the same chamfer job on the remnant of the handle. So I'll clean up all those edges, and then hopefully the two will fit together nicely, and then I can weld up the inside the chamfer and hopefully fix this pan. Okay, so there's what the handle fitted, and if you see, it's nice and smooth across the top. Everything feels like it's lined up inside here. So I think I'll weld it. I know you're supposed to weld a cast iron using a stick welder or a TIG welder, and you're supposed to use a special rod, but I don't have any of that stuff. I have my MIG welder. So this pan doesn't do me any good broken, so I'm going to try to MIG it together and see if it holds. If it doesn't, no big deal. It was broken to begin with. Well, we'll see. Okay, so there's my fix. It's all ground out. You can definitely see the line where the weld is, where the two different materials are. But, I mean, it's at least strong enough to pick it up with. This is what the back side looks like. Cleaned up decent. I think once I coat it up in oil, you know, you won't be able to tell that there's even a patch there, really. But my concern now is, you know, what it's going to do when the two different types of metal heat up at different rates. I guess I'll just have to find out. I'm going to probably throw it inside the barbecue grill and run it up to about 500 degrees or so and see if it comes apart. And if it does, oh well, I wasted 45 minutes. If it doesn't, then I've resurrected an old cast iron pan and can use it for many more years, I hope. Okay. Didn't have time to throw it on the barbecue, and I want to keep an eye on it, so putting it in the oven, putting it on the clean cycle, which should pull all of the black carbon off the outside. My oven didn't like me. So I'll run the clean cycle for 2 hours, and it should come out looking like a brand new pan from the factory. It'll kind of have a grayish color to it. At least that's been my experience in the past. So this is what the pan looks like now that it's out of the oven on the clean cycle. There's my patch. It didn't fall off in the oven. It appears to still be strong. I think we repaired this pan. So now I gotta brush a little bit of the rust out of it. Once all the carbon came out, I realized there's a bit of rust on the bottom of the pan. So I'm gonna scrub the rust out with a wire brush, and then I'll coat it up and put it back in the oven at a little bit lower temperature and blacken it up, and I believe I fixed my cast iron pan with a MIG welder, which you're not supposed to do, but you know, you gotta work with what you got, and I didn't have the heart to throw this thing away, so we'll try it out, and if it fails, so be it. But in the meantime, I believe I have a 14-inch cast iron skillet. Okay, like I said yesterday, found a lot of rust down in the pan after I pulled all the carbon off. There's my repair. So I'm gonna hit it with a 4.5-inch grinder and try to take some of the rust out and see what it looks like, and then I'll throw the carbon back on by just putting some Crisco or some olive oil on it and baking it either in the oven, or it's kind of a warm day today, so I'll probably use the barbecue grill for this. So there's the surface. A lot cleaner. Just knock the rust out. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be not built up oxides. So I'll coat it in oil, and you probably won't even be able to see my repair after it turns black again. So there you go. Crisco. Alright, that's well coated. I'm going to go stick it on the grill. Okay, I have my grill over here. Get everything turned up to high. And there's the pan. Just barely fits in there. But that ought to turn nice and black here in about an hour or so. Maybe a little bit more. I'll just let it run for a while. This is probably going to get up to like 450, 500 on the temp gauge. That's about where I like to run them. If you read the instructions for like a lodge pan, it says to run it a little bit lower, but I found they don't turn quite as black, and they just don't seem to work as well. So a little bit higher heat, but not enough to actually burn the carbon off. Alright, pan's finished. I did 2 coats on it. You can see there is my patch. Still kind of see it a little bit. Outside's almost completely disappeared. Pan's got a nice fresh coat in it. So start to finish repairing a cast iron pan. I don't know for sure if it's gonna hold up, but it looks like it. I've been moving it around off the handle, and you know, it doesn't break. The pan's still hot, but you know, I'm flexing down as hard as I can right now. It doesn't appear to make a difference. So I think as long as I'm careful with it and don't abuse it, should last for a very, very long time.